Should we buy or sell platinum? First off, read this disclaimer carefully. And do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. Platinum is one of the precious metals. It doesn't receive a whole lot of attention. People focus on gold and silver, but platinum is, more valuable. 3% here from the 52-week low. We have seen a minus 29% pullback. The kind of pullback where it makes more sense to look for potential bullish opportunities. So here is the big picture. You could certainly make the case that we have something that looks like a rounding bottom in development. That is a bullish technical setup. You could argue that we are quite clearly testing here the red 200-week moving average. Long term, it's been a pretty important moving average. You see that it became very relevant as resistance here. Given that the bulls were able to bounce from support back here in September, and that was a pretty good trade, and 2 weeks in a row here support, and here we also quite surgically found support there. So basically this moving average has a lot of legitimacy. So there's a pretty decent chance that the bulls will use this as an opportunity. At least it doesn't make sense to look at platinum from a bearish perspective until we have a clear break of that moving average. Ideally that it becomes clear resistance. If that were to happen, then that would probably ruin the rounding bottom formation. When we jump here to the daily data points, we are below a lot of moving averages. You could make another bullish point that we have some horizontal support levels. So let's draw it in. Support. You can see back here a pretty surgical support. To some extent here as well. So there's multiple reasons to expect the bulls to show up. It is very important for the bulls to show up because we are also in the process of forming a head and shoulders pattern. If we do get a break of that one, that would be bad. So yeah, it's a very important moment here for the bulls. Looking at these other indicators, RSI is at a level here, vis-a-vis the weekly data points that has a tendency to form temporary lows. So let's draw it in here. You see here, here, and here. This level, it has a tendency to result in a bounce. However, there's a big but. When we look at the instances where we did not get that, that's when the bears really get ferocious. Like here, strong sell-off. Here as well, we bounce a bit, then we fail, and then you get way into oversold territory. Looking here at the daily data points, RSI, there is a tendency for this level to result in a bounce. Back here we have this kind of RSI that's resulted in some bounce. Here we did get a bounce, but as you can see, if we do meet another resistance level, in this instance the 20-day moving average becomes a problem, and we see a breakdown. So you always want to protect the gains you get, because the market is dynamic. There's a war between the bulls and the bears, and the battlefield, it can change, and you definitively want to react when there's a change in the battlefield. Yeah, I think that technically this is speculatively bullish. Looking here at the correlations. So with the S&P 500, we have a 78% positive. With the platinum ETF, we have almost 100%. So that's very good. So the PPLT ETF is a good way to get exposure to platinum. 49% correlation with gold, and then we have minus 77% with the dollar index. Looking short term, minus 64% with the S&P 500. Back again, almost perfect with the Platinum ETF. Perfect correlation, that is. 69-ish% positive with the gold and minus 72% with the dollar index. So the Platinum ETF, the ticker is PPLT, Aberdeen Standard Physical Platinum Shares. So it tracks the platinum spot price less trust expenses using platinum bullion. Expense ratio 0.60%, 2-ish billions under management. There's not much competition at all in this space, and that is, to an extent why we have this expense ratio. But it's not like a draconian expense ratio. I mean, 0.60 is actually it's decent. Okay, so looking here at the seasonality for platinum. So over the last, let's start here with the 5 years. December is one of the stronger months. Over the last 10 years, increase in strength here from November to December, and then January is the strongest month. And then over the last 20 years. So December closes higher 60% of the time, 1.8-ish% gain. Then January and February are the strongest months. So I think that when we take it all together, from a technical standpoint, we did see horizontal support. We found oversold levels that has a tendency to attract bulls. And then we do have a big boy moving average support from the 200-week moving average in red. The seasonality is strong, especially for January and February, and that makes platinum far less appealing for the bears, because because we are now in December, and given that the market is forward looking, it's risky to short anything when there's a very strong bullish seasonality around the corner, because there's always the risk that the bulls will make an early move. So yeah, I think it's way easier to make a bullish case for platinum than a bearish one. But we do definitively want to have stops, because the support levels that we did find, they certainly should hold for a bullish thesis to remain valid.